Our next honoree, Rick Webb, practically speaking and technically really needs no introduction, but we have rules. We're going to do an introduction. And in fact, Dan Smith, the CEO of Watco, is going to do the introduction.
Well, Rick's timing is impeccable again. He is the only thing between all of you and lunch. And so I hope he doesn't confuse all the applause at the end with anything other than we're ready to eat. Now, in all seriousness, it's a tremendous honor for me to be here today to introduce Rick. I think there are thousands of people that would love the opportunity to do it, probably some much more qualified than me. Most of you know the Watco story. The Webb family in 1983, on the heels of deregulation, headed out with one customer and one operation, and really nothing more than a whole bunch of determination and desire to find a new way to serve customers, to put the customer first, to provide better service, and to give value back to that customer. 41 years later, with the help of thousands of great team members and certainly thousands upon thousands of amazing customers, Watco has become what it is today. But bigger than that is what Rick does that a lot of people don't see. I can tell you that in my mind, the definition of a true Hall of Famer is consistency. That's what gets you into a Hall of Fame. And I can see no greater inductee than Rick Webb. Most people don't realize that every single day Rick gets up, he makes sure he does one thing. He makes sure that he makes someone or something better. That's an amazing quality. On a personal level, Rick has made me better. He's made me a better person. He's made me a better husband, father, son, brother. He's tried to make me a better leader, even when I didn't want to be. And he's truly a great man. I would say that he's the best teammate I've ever had. He's the best coach I've ever had. And he's the best friend I've had. Ladies and gentlemen, Rick Webb, Watco.
How in the world do you follow that? Other than I gotta say, Dan and I talked, and he promised to give an introduction like that as long as I did what every Hall of Famer is supposed to do: retire the day you get into the Hall of Fame. So that's probably on my horizon. Well, listen, I know that everybody's hungry, and I'm gonna keep my speech, I promise, to just a little bit under an hour. But no, in all seriousness, that man right there, Dan Smith, we are lucky to have him from a leadership standpoint. Dan and the team that he's built over the last 7 years have produced record performance for Watco. And there's only one reason why that's happened. It's because Dan and the team that he's built. And I'll say this, with the team that we have today, Watco is in very good hands and is poised for many, many more years of success. Next, I'd like to say congratulations to Robert Grossman and to the late Jake Jacobson, who I think Jake's got the best seat in the house, by the way. And they are two short line legends, and they need to be congratulated for being inducted in the Short Line Hall of Fame. And I'm honored to be in the same class with them. Chuck, just to you, in the 5 years you've had the helm of the Short Line Association, you've achieved many, many milestones that have benefited the short lines greatly. From making the short line tax credit permanent, to leading the fight for common sense rail regulatory reform from California to DC. We're incredibly lucky to have you and your team on our side. But I am living proof that every now and again you make a stupid mistake. Next, I could spend the whole speech talking about these people and the Watco team, but next I would like to thank our Watco customers who every day give us the opportunity to improve, and without them there would be no Watco team. I'd also like to thank our Class 1 customers, for again, without them there would be no Watco. And we at Watco have always believed that the most important measurement of our success is not our operating ratio, not our return on invested capital. It's not our EBITDA growth. It's not our revenue growth. Our most important measurement of success is how strong and sustainable our customer relationships are, and how many new customer relationships are we creating. When those strong and sustainable customer relationships develop over time, the amazing things that happen is this: our OR improves, our ROIC improve, we grow our revenue, we grow our bottom line, and we create value-creating relationships. Like anything of value, a good customer relationship is not always easy, and it is never perfect. But the rewards are immense and amazing, and ladies and gentlemen, you've got to understand this. It is probably the only reason why I'm talking with you today. Dan touched on it in the introduction. A great example of our customer relationship is our relationship with PCA, the successor to Boise Southern, our first customer in DeRidder, Louisiana, that we started serving almost 41 years ago. No wonder I look so god dang old when I look in the mirror. We were so excited about our first contract, especially because it had the term evergreen in it. But we also realized very quickly it also had these words in it: the contract can be canceled on 30 days' notice for any reason at the customer's sole discretion. What's amazing is that we realized that the contract was evergreen, but we realized that we didn't have anything if the service we provided today was not as good or better than what we provided yesterday, and that we weren't prepared to come back to work tomorrow on time and provide as good, if not better, service tomorrow. I am proud to say that after over 40 years, that's 15,000 days, 360,000 hours, we're still operating under the same contract. And the only two copies of the contract are framed today, with one copy right outside Dan's office and the other copy in PCA's offices. So I don't know a better way to explain how important customer relationships are to Watco's success, and I know they're extraordinarily important to the short lines at large success as well. So I'd like to again say a special thank you to all of our customers, but especially to Bruce, Ross, Dina, and Doug at PCA. Now here's somebody that doesn't get thanked very often. We've had the benefit over the years of many, many, many vendor relationships. And yes, all you vendors are really glad I don't control the checkbook anymore, because I did everything I could do to pay you. And you're too numerous to mention, but the one thing I want to say about our good vendor relationships is you believed in us when few others would. And you gave us credit when very few else would. So thank you for staying with us and growing with us over the years. Okay, now the fun part. I want to thank the Watco team, on whose behalf I'm accepting this award. The service that we provide our customers, that Watco team provides our customers, it's the only way we create value for our customers. Like all short lines, we took over assets that other people didn't want, and we turned those assets into something more valuable by focusing on the people, not focusing on the asset. We took care of the people who took care of our customers. And guess what happened to the asset? The value improved greatly. From our 10-person team at our first profit center to our 4,900 strong team at our 190 profit centers today, we have been blessed to have, in my opinion, the best team in the business. And that opinion is supported by what you saw today. Right? Look at who was here today from Watco. Sam, Cameron, Sean, Kyle, Curtis, Shannon, and so many other awards that we get every single day, and I want to thank you all for that. You know, and also one thing I want to point out too is over the last 2 years, we've been named one of the top 100 most loved workplaces in the United States. And ladies and gentlemen, think about that. If you don't love where you go to work, and if you don't love who you go to work with, how can you love taking care of the customer? We have an amazing team. That is amazing enough. But last year, we were named one of the top 100 most loved workplaces in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, we're number 67 with a bullet. Very few people know what the hell I'm talking about right there, but that means we got a lot more to go. So I would like to thank every one of our Watco team members for all they do for our customers and for giving me the opportunity to receive this award. I promise I'm almost done. From the beginning, Watco has been a family business. My father had the vision. My mother had the real job to pay the bills early on, so we got a foundation upon which to build. And we have been blessed to have an ownership team and a banking team. Many of you are here today, which includes my mother, who's not here today, my sister Susie's family, who I know we have some of my sister Susie's family here, my family who's here today, along with Josh, Andrew, and Pat of the Transportation Infrastructure Fund, John and Andrew of Kinder Morgan, and of course, last but not least, Stefan, Mike, and Chip from the Norfolk Southern. Without our ownership teams, financial support and guidance, we could not have grown and improved the way we have over the years. All right, lastly, but most importantly, I'd like to thank my family. My daughter Megan, her husband Hugo, and their two beautiful babies, Renly and Luca. My son Jake and his wife Megan and their beautiful son Jace, for their undying love and support. Okay, here comes a shameless plug. Hugo and Jake created a company called Uplink, and they got a great booth on the exhibition floor, okay? And they got a great partnership with Motorola, so if you need radios, low voltage security systems, camera systems, communication systems, go see them. They're gonna take care of you, I guarantee you. And finally, to my best friend and the love of my life, my wife Stacy, thank you for always being there for me and for our family. And thank you for not changing the locks on me after all these years. I'm humbled, I'm honored, I'm thankful. Let's eat, but one last thing. Go, Watco, go. Thank you very much.